Hi guys, welcome back to this channel and thanks for viewing this video. Today I'm going to show you how to design a landing page using Bootstrap version 5. So we are going to build a landing page just like the one you can see on the screen right now. We have the header section with the navigation bar that is fully responsive. And here we have the About Us section, and we have our service section as well. Down here we have our team section, and then the last section is going to be the contact us section. And as I was saying, this is fully responsive. So when you reduce the screen here, you can see you have your toggle button. When you click on that, you can see your navigation items down here. And when you scroll there, you can see the various sections of your website. So I'm going to show you how to design a landing page just like the one we have on the screen here. We're going to use Bootstrap version 5, and we are also going to customize it using HTML and CSS. And as I could show you as well, I can also show you the scrolling effect. For example, if I click on About Us here, it's going to take us to the About Us page. If I click on this back to top button, it's going to take us back to the top. If I click on Contact Us, for example, you can see it has taken us to the Contact Us section of our landing page. If I click on Back to Top button, it takes us back to the top of our landing page. So without delay, I'm going to show you how to do that. So if we come to our text editor, you have to make sure that you have your bootstrap.css file well connected to your project. You also have to link font awesome, because I'm going to use font awesome for my icons, for the various icons on this landing page. And we also have to link our style.css file. So these are the various files that we need to have. So here is how my project directory is organized. I have a CSS folder where I'm storing all the CSS files. Inside I have my Bootstrap files, and also I also have my font awesome files in here. And I also have the fonts. This is for the font awesome as well, the fonts folder. And the images, I have all the various images I'm going to be using in this landing page. I also do have my JavaScript. These are all bootstrap.javascript files. And then I have the index.html and style.css files as well. So I'm going to be showing you how to design section by section. So we are going to start with the header section, then we'll move on to the About Us section. And after the About Us section, we are going to continue with the rest of the sections. That is going to be the service section, the Our Team section, and then the Contact Us section. So let us start designing our header. So I'm going to start by writing a div, and I'm going to give it a class of header background, my bad, like this. And inside this div, I'm also going to write another div that I'm going to give an ID of nav, like this. And I can give it a class of, I will call this class sticky nav, like this. So this is what I need to write. Now inside this class sticky nav, I am going to put my navigation code. So what I'm going to do is I will go to Bootstrap version 5 website. I come to components here and then scroll down. I click on navbar. As you can see, navbar here. I'm simply going to copy and paste this portion of code here. Okay, as you can see, this portion of code, it's going to give me the nav bar. So I'm simply going to click on the button copy here and then come back to my text editor. I will paste it like this. So this portion of code, I have copied it on Bootstrap website. All right. So I now can customize the navigation. So all I'm going to do is that if I come back to my website, if I open it in the browser, there you can see how it is looking. All right, so I'm going to customize this navigation bar for it to look like the one we have in here. So I'm going to change a couple of stuff. So I will remove the background light here, navigation light as well. This is what I'm going to remove. And here, instead of writing navbar, I'm going to write coding river. So this is going to represent my logo. All right, it's going to represent the logo. So here, the navbar toggler icon, I'm going to add 2 span tags. So this is the first one I'm adding, and the second one like this. So these span tags, when I'm going to style my CSS, I'm going to use them to have the, okay, I'm going to show you what is going to happen. So as you can see, these 3 lines here. So each line is representing the span, okay? So this span, and I'm going to show you how to do that when I'm going to be styling my CSS, all right? So let me come back to the text editor. So this is what I am going to do. Now I need to change this as well. So these are going to be my navigation items, my navbar items. So I'm going to write about us here for the first item. And so this drop down, I'm simply going to write services like this. And I can leave all these drop down items like that. I think, or I can write whatever I want. I can say web design, for example, and digital marketing, and here I can say programming. Okay, so after I have done that, this one I can remove this disabled navbar item. I don't need that. And what else I'm going to need? I'm going to add some navbar items. Okay, so what I will do here is I will simply copy this. I'm going to copy that, come down here, paste it. I'll change this to team, this, and then I'm going to paste another one, and I will change this to contact us, like this. Okay, so this is the contact us, and I will save. Let me come and refresh my page. There you can see everything has changed. So now I want to place my navbar items at the middle here. What can I do? Okay, so one trick I will show you is that you need to come to the unordered list here, and I'm simply gonna add class here. I'm gonna say MS Auto like this and save. Let me refresh here. Then you can see the navbar items are now placed at the middle of our navbar. So I need to remove this input as well, this input here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to remove that here, simply remove, right? Then I'm going to save. Let me come back, refresh. There you can see. All right, so now I need to add another thing here. So since I'm coding the header part, what I need to write here is going to be my H1. So I will say H1 class heading, and that will be landing page website, and then save. Come and refresh here. Okay, there I have landing page website. So now it's time for me to style using my CSS. Okay, so this is all the HTML code you need for the header. So now it's time for us to start with styling using CSS. So for the CSS part, as you can see, I am importing some Google fonts. So I'm going to be using this font Poppins, okay? And so I'm going to start by styling my HTML like this. And I'm going to say scroll behavior smooth like this. So this is going to be used for the scrolling part, but we are not going to use it in this part of the video. But I just want to put that here so that whenever we're going to use that, I'm going to come back to it and explain to you. So now the body, I will say margin 0 padding 0, and I'll say font size 18 pixels. Then font family, like I said, we are using Poppins. I can also add another element here. I will say line height 20 pixels, and the color, I'm going to use this particular color, B1, B4, BD. And I also need to give a background color. So I'm going to use this color, so 32 3A45. So this is going to give us a dark background color. So as you can see here, so now the body is having a dark background color because we precised this background color here. And I can say for the links, I would say I will give them a particular color, the same color as the one we gave to the body. And I think for now that's okay. And so I would say font weight 500, then anchor at, I would say hover. I'm going to give it a red color like this, then save. So let's come back to the HTML part of our code. So I'm going to start styling the first class here. We are having header background, okay? So in the CSS part, I'm going to say header background, this. So position static display block, then I'm going to say overflow visible, then top will be 0, height will be auto, and then the minimum height will be 750 pixels. Margin, so here I'm going to say margin bottom 50 pixels, and padding bottom as well. Padding the bottom, I will say 70 pixels, like this. So what else can I add here? Let me save this, come back here. Yeah, so as you can see. So I'm going to add some background image. So as for the background image, I'm going to say background underscore image. So I will say what kit gradient, and I will say linear left top. So I want the overlay on this header to be gradient. So that's why I'm adding this portion of code here. And so from here, and then I'm going to add a color. So this is the code of the color I will add. So 69, 0.9, like this. And I'm going to say background image again, and linear gradient 100 degree. Then I will say RGBA. I will simply copy this same color here, but I'm going to change some few numbers here. So instead of 0.9, I'm going to say 0. Let's say 55. Okay, so I'm going to say comma. Let me copy here. After the comma, I'm going to paste it and change some few stuff here. I will say 74. Then I will say comma here, URL. Then here I'm going to add the image. So I'll say images. So I have an image here called BG, then save. All right. So after that, I'm going to say flex direction column like this. Let me add some background position, I guess. Let's say like this, position, background position. What am I going to write here? So I'm saying 0 pixels, comma, 100%, 50%. And then the background, this is going to be the background size. So auto cover like this. And I'm going to say white space, normal, and object fit. What's the fill? So object fit fill. All right, so let me come back to here and then refresh. There you can see the image is showing. And then the overlay is also showing on top of the image because we specified the linear gradient, 100 degree here, and then the various colors, and then the image as we did right here. So I can add some few elements just for it to be more responsive. So I'm going to say WebKit box, orient like this, vertical, then WebKit box direction, that will be normal, and WebKit flex direction, I'll say column, okay, column like this. Then MS flex direction will be column as well. All right, so that's it. The second element I'm going to style is going to be the sticky nav. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a class called sticky nav, and I need to style that as well. So this is how the styling is going to look like. So I would say that sticky nav like this. Then the position will be sticky. Okay, I want the nav bar to be sticky. So I can add position WebKit sticky. This. Then I will say top 0 pixels. Padding will be 20 pixels. Z index will be 1. And then I will say WebKit align self auto and MS flex item align, that'll be auto as well, and MS grid row align auto. So I'll say align self will be auto, WebKit box ordinal group be 1, then WebKit order 0, and MS flex order, my bad, let me come back here. So I'll put 0 here as well, semicolon, and I'm going to say order will be 0 as well. Then here I'm going to say the background color of this will be RGBA. I think I'm simply going to say 12, 32, 55, 0.5. Then come here, refresh. There you can see how the navbar is now looking, okay, based on all the styling we did here on the header background class and then the sticky nav class. So we are going to continue our styling. Then I'm going to style next the navbar brand. So I'm going to say navbar brand. So in here, I'm simply going to change the font size. So I would say font size. Now I need to change the, I have to change the pattern. So I would say 1 and 0 here. All right. Then after the pattern, I can add, let's say, display block as well. And then text decoration will be none. So I can add the font size. I'll say 2.2 REM, and then I'll give it a different color. So I will say white. So the nav brand here is actually the logo. So we are styling the logo. So let me come back to the website and see if any change has happened to the logo. No, not actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say navbar brand like this. I will simply copy this, or cut it actually, and paste it here and save. Come back to my website. There you can see now the logo has changed. So based on all the styling that we have put here in our CSS. So now I can style my navbar toggler. So I'll say navbar toggler like this. The border is going to be, let me say none, okay. And then the padding, 10 pixels and 6 pixels. Outline will be none, like this. So let me say navbar toggler span, say display block. The width will be 22 pixels. The height will be 2 pixels. Border will be 1 pixel. And then the background will be white. Then save. So I'm going to do for the second navbar toggler. So I'm simply going to copy this, paste it. Let me remove this. So I'll say span plus span. So to make sure that we are going to style the second span tag, so I will say margin top 4 pixels, and then the width will also be 22 pixels. So I'm gonna copy this, paste like this, and add plus the third span, and then keep the same width. So the width is going to be 22 pixels. So now let me come back to my web page. Let me refresh that. And as you can see, if I reduce the size, there I have my toggler button. Okay, when I click on that, you can see that my navigation bar is collapsing. All right. So after I have styled this portion of my code, I can now style my navigation links, okay, my navigation items. Let me come back here. So what I'm going to write is going to be navbar expand rg that navbar nav link like this, padding 1.4 rem, 1 rem, and then the font size will be 1.2 rem, and its position, the position of my nav links, is going to be relative like this. All right, I am going to copy this, paste. Oh, my bad, let me remove this. So I will remove this and I will say that active. So this is to say that whenever a particular link is active, I want its color to be different from the rest of the links. Okay, so it's going to be red. All right, then let me save. Okay, so this is it. Because if you can look at the HTML or the Bootstrap code here, we have that class here, active, right? So that's why we are having home having a different color from all the other nav links up here. So that's it. Now, after we have done that, I'm going to style the button. So I'll say button. Let me come back to my Bootstrap code here. So I'm going to remove this, save that. Okay, let me come back to the CSS code. So button, I want to give it a background color. So I will say background color, that will be red like this. And the color, I will say white as well. The border radius, let me say 10 pixels. Padding, 1 rem, 1.5 rem, like this. And then the font size, I'll say 1.2 rem. I think that's going to be good. Now let me copy this, paste it, remove like this. And here I was simply going to say hover. I can also remove the color here, and the background color, I will give it a different color. So I will simply say 0A3. So this is the code of the color I actually want to give to my button whenever I hover on it. All right. So as you can see, so I also need to put the color here. So I'm going to say color white. All right. Okay. And I can also change the text here. Instead of saying search, I can simply say get a quote now. Then save. Come back. There you can see the button, get a quote now. Okay, so that's it. Next, in order to finish the styling of our header, we are going to style this class heading. So that means in our CSS code, we will say heading like this, then font size. That will be, so we want it to be big. So I would say 5 rem. Its font weight, we want it to be bold like this. And the line height, we will say 1.4. And the text align, we want it to be centered. Then the color, we can say that the color will be white as well. So that's it. Let me save and refresh my web page. So when I refresh, there you can see. So I need to move this a little bit down here at the middle of the screen. What can I do? So I would say margin top. Let me say 180 pixels. Let me refresh. There you can see landing page website. So in case we wanted to add some text down that heading, so we could also make sure that we add a margin bottom as well. So something like, I can say 8 pixels, for example. And we could also add a minimum height to this heading, something by giving it this minimum height of 100 pixels, for example. So let me refresh. So this has not changed too much because we are having a single line. And so I just want it to look like this here. All right. So, and as you can see here, that we can see that the nav brand or the logo is not like here. Okay, here we having the button that is stretching far left. The logo is stretching far left, and then the button is also stretching far right here. So this is because in the Bootstrap code we copied, the navbar is having a class of container fluid. Okay, so when you say container fluid, it's going to occupy the whole width of your page. So we are going to remove that. We want it to be simply container, so that we will get the margin left and margin right here. So when I do that, as you can see, now we're having a pretty much big margin left here and then a margin right here. So that's it concerning how you could design this nice header. So here you have your nav bar and your nav links and a button on the nav bar. When you scroll down, you can see that the nav bar is sticky, and you also have your header image and overlay, and you have a heading here. You could write whatever title you could write on this portion of this website. But just in order to show you how to do that, I prefer to write landing page website. And I can also show you that the nav bar is responsive. As you can see, whenever I reduce the size of my browser, you can see that the navbar is also responsive. And when I click on the toggle button here, there you can also have a look at your navigation links or your navigation menu, and you can also scroll. So guys, that's it on how you can design a nice looking navbar menu and header. So in the next video, we are going to see how to design the About Us section. Okay, as you can see here, About Us. I'm going to show you how to do just that. So without wasting time, let's meet in the next video. And don't forget to like and comment and share your point of view concerning this design. And I really do appreciate that. So let's meet in the next video. Bye. Hi guys, so let's continue the design of our landing page. In the first video, in the first part of our video, we designed this header, with the navigation bar. Now it's time for us to design this About Us section. So I will quickly go to my index.html file, and down here, I am going to write div and give it a class of container fluid like this. And inside, I'm going to have another class that will be row. And in this row, I'm going to have two columns. So I'm going to say div class column 12. So as you know, this is actually to make my website, but the various columns of my website responsive. And I'm going to say column on a large screen 6. And I'm going to add another class name that I'm going to call column left, like this. That's it. I'm not going to put anything inside this column. I am going to add, I'll just copy and paste. So this is the second column, all right? And this column, I will call it column right, like this. And inside this column right, I now going to write the text, and I will give a class of section title, and I will say about us. Okay, so as you can see, I'm having about us here. So that's the text, and I'm going to add another paragraph tag that will allow me to add this text that you can see here. So what I'm going to do, let me come back to the HTML code here, and I'm going to say P. So this is the paragraph tag, and the class is going to be paragraph, like this. So I need to put in the text. So I will simply copy this text here. Or you can go on the internet and find some dummy text that you can put in your website. So that's the text. I just copied and pasted like this. All right. So I'm just going to align this like this and save. So that's it for the About Us section. Now let me come and refresh my page here and scroll down. There you can see I'm having the About Us, and then here I'm having the paragraph text. So I am also going to add an ID element here. So I'm simply going to say ID and About Us. So I'm going to use this ID when I will show you how to make the scrolling effect. Okay, when you click on the navbar item About Us, it will lead you, it will scroll down to the About Us section. But that is going to be in another part of this tutorial. So now the HTML part of our website is okay. So let's jump to the styling of this landing page section. So the first styling we're going to do is going to be on the class that we called column left. Okay, so as you can notice here, so column left is this portion here where we are having the image. So all we are going to do is to add an image there. But the first thing I need to do is, first of all, to determine its minimum height. And I will say 75 pixels, 750 pixels, and save. Then I'm going to add some image. So about the image, I'm simply going to copy this portion of code here. I'll say copy, then come down here, and I will paste it like this. Let me remove this flex direction, then save. And I'm also going to change this image. So instead of the image BG, I have another image here called BG1. So that's what I'm going to put there. And I'm also going to change some color. So here I will give a different color. So I will say 12, 32, 51. Okay, so that's the same color I'm going to be using down here as well. I'll just copy and paste, and here paste. Then I need to save. Okay, so I have the background position, I have the background size, that's okay. I need to add a background attachment. And I will simply say scroll. Then object fit, I'll say fill, object fit. I think the object fit, I will put it to cover. So cover like this. Then save. So let me come back to my website and refresh. There, when I refresh, you can see the image is now showing. All right. And then the gradiency, the overlay is having a gradiency as well. But you can notice that there is a little bit of space between the header and this section here. I guess this is because in the header background here, we say that the margin bottom is 50 pixels. Let me remove the 50 pixels like this and then refresh the page. Ta-da! There you can see we are not having any space there. So the left column class is okay. It's now time for us to style the column right class. Okay, as for the column right, we will say, so I'm going to say column right like this. And I'm going to style the section title. So the first thing I will want to style will be the The margin top, I would say 80 pixels like this. And then the padding 5 rem to the top. To the right, I would say 2 rem, and to the bottom, I will simply say 0 rem. And to the left, that will be 5 rem as well. And the font size will be 2.8 rem. Then the color, I will use this color, B1, B4, BD. And the font weight, so I would say 500. And then save. When you come to the website and refresh, then you can see that change has been made. So I will also style the paragraph. So I'll say paragraph like this. Oh, let me say column right paragraph. Then in here, I will give, so let me just copy this because probably most of these elements will be also needed here. I didn't copy that. So I'll say copy, paste. So for the paragraph, I want its margin top to be 15 pixels. So that will be 15 pixels. And the padding I want at the top, I want it to be 1 rem. The right, that will be 5. And bottom will be 1. And then the left is going to be 5 rem as well. As for the font size, I want to give it a different font size. So that will be 1.1 rem, and the color will be this. So I know I don't need the font weight. I will add another element that will be the line height. Say 1.4. Then the text align will be justify like this. Yes, everything is okay. When I come and refresh, there you can see everything is looking pretty. Okay, as on this page here. So here we are having about us section, and that's it. So guys, we are going to, for this section, that's all you have to do, the HTML part and then the CSS part. In the next part, we are going to start designing the service part, okay, this section. So it's also going to be very simple, and I'm going to show you how to do just that. So thanks for viewing, and let's meet in the next video. Okay, so after doing the header and the navigation bar, as you can see on the screen here, then the About Us section, I'm now going to show you how to design this section. So this is going to represent our services. Okay, if your company has services that you want to represent on a web page, you can do that by designing a section like this one. So without delay, let's go to our index.html file. And then we are going to add another div that is going to have a class called container fluid. And I can also add an ID, and that ID, I'm going to call it our services, like this. In here, I will add another div. I'll say row. Okay, that's the class. And then I am going to add the columns and give the columns some points. Okay, so I'm saying extra small. I'll give it 12 points. For the column small size, I'll say 6. And then I'll say for the large one, it will also have 6 points. So that's it. I will need to have 2 columns like this one. So I'm going to copy this, copy, and paste it down here. So that's it. That second column here, I'm going to add another class, and this class I'm going to call it our service. And I will just simply say right like this. Okay, so let me start putting some other elements inside the first column. Here I'm going to add an h1 tag, and I will add a class that I will call service section like this. And in here, I'm going to say what we do best. Okay, and after that, I'm going to add a p tag, and inside the p tag, I'm going to add a class that I'm going to call paragraph like this. And then inside paragraph, I will add some text. So let me just copy this text here. You can find some dummy text on the internet and then just paste it here. Or if you have actual text, you can put that in here. So this is just some dummy text. That's what I wanted to say. So after that, I'm going to add another div, and I will say class row. And this row, I'm going to add a div class, and I'll say column. So let me just copy this, copy, paste it here, and I'll add service one as the name of the class and paste it like this. I will copy this again and paste it. And here I will say service 2. All right. So in service 1, I am going to add an icon. So this is a font awesome icon, and I'll say FA magic. So you have to make sure that your font awesome is actually installed in your project for this to work. Okay, so you need to have the link to the font awesome. And then I will say h1 tag class service title 1. Okay, that's what I'm going to call it. And I'll say web design. So that's the title of the service that we are offering as a company. And I will say class. Here I need to give it a name. I'll simply say service paragraph 1. Yeah, that's it. So let me simply come here and then copy this small text, come back here and paste it. All right. So that's it for service 1. Service 2, I can pretty much copy this and paste it in here. I will simply change the icon. The class here is going to be service title 2, and then here it's going to be service paragraph 2. Okay, so this is just because I want to be fast. So that's it concerning this row, and so that's it concerning the HTML portion of this website. So now let's jump inside the style.css. So the first thing I'm going to change here, I want this paragraph to be kind of universal, because I'm going to have multiple paragraphs in this website. So and this styling is going to be generic for most of these paragraphs. So that's the reason why I want to remove the column right here and simply put the class paragraph. Okay, so that's it. Now, after we have done that, we can now start by styling. I'm going to start with the class our service right. Since this class, I am simply going to put an image in it. So what I'm going to do, I am going to copy some of the elements in the column left here, copy and paste it like this. All I'm going to change will be the background image. So instead of background image 1, I will say background image 3. That's it. So let me come back to my site here. When I refresh, there you can see the background image on our service, the right side. And here we have some text. So now I need to style the text. Okay, so let me come down. The first class I'm going to start styling will be section title. No, I called it service section. Again, yeah, service section, like this one. So I'm going to say margin top 20 pixels. Okay, padding 5 rem and 2 rem, 0 rem at the bottom, and then 5 rem on the left. And then the color, no, I don't need a color. What I'm going to put here is going to be the font size. I would say 2.8 rem. And then the font weight will be 500. Then I will save. Let me come and refresh. Yes, as you can see now, the service section class is styled properly. So now I'm going to say service title 1. I'm going to specify its padding. So the padding here, I'm going to say 1 rem at the top, 2 rem on the right, 1 rem at the bottom, and then 5 rem on the left. Then the font size is going to be 1.8 rem. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for the service title class, service title 2. But then here I am simply going to change the padding a little bit. So I'm going to say 1 rem at the top, 5 rem on the right, and then 1 rem on at the bottom, and 1 rem on the left. But the font size is going to be the same as in service title 1. Then this is going to lead us to style the service paragraph. Okay, so I think we called it service paragraph, and the first one we called it paragraph 1. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to say margin top. Here the margin top, I will say 15 pixels, and then the padding, simply say 0 rem, 1 rem, 1 rem, and then 5 rem. The font size, let me say the font size 1.1, and the line height maybe 1.4. Then the text align, I will simply say justify. Okay, like this. So this is going to be the same thing for service paragraph 2. Okay, but except here the padding, I'm going to say 0, and here I need to write 5, then 1 here. So that's it. Now let me come and refresh the web page. There, as you can see. So here I need to say service paragraph 2. Okay, refresh. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to start is going to be the icons. Okay, so for the icons, yeah, I'm going to use the class FA, so the font awesome, and so I need to precise its font size. That will be 4 rem, and then the color will be red like this. Okay, so I'll say service 1 .fa. I need to specify its pattern. So it'll be 3 rem, 2 rem, 1 rem, and 5 rem. Like this. I'm simply going to copy this and do the same thing for service 2. So here, service 2, that will be 3 rem, 5 rem, 1 rem, and then 1 rem like this. So let me come and refresh. Ta-da, there you can see that we have designed our service section the same way as it is showing here. Okay, so here I simply need to change the text. So I will write digital marketing. All right. And then when I come here, refresh, yeah, so everything is looking the same way. So guys, that was it on how you can actually design this section of your web page, of your landing page, using Bootstrap, HTML, and CSS. So in the next part of this video, I'm going to show you how to design this our team section. So I hope this video was informative, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's meet in the next video. All right, guys, so I showed you how to design the header, this about us section, and then this our service section. So now it's high time for us to start with this our team section. So now, without delay, let's go to our HTML file. So in the index.html file, what we are going to do is to add another div and a class of container fluid like this. I will add an ID, and so I can say ID here, say call team, right? And in this div, we are going to add another div, and with the class of row, and we are going to add another div with a class, and then here we are going to specify some columns with points. Okay, and then like this. I'm going to add another class here. I will call this class portfolio. All right. So in this portfolio class, I'm going to say div class row. And in the row, I am going to add another div with a class of columns. This column like this. And then I'm going to add two more classes. I will say gallery and img1. Yeah, so I will copy this, paste it down like this. So I'm going to copy this row and paste it 2 times. All right. So all I'm going to change here is going to be image 2, image 3, image 4, image 5, and then image 6. So this is what I need to change. So these rows, okay, these columns are going to be used to show us the images. As you can see here, I'm having 6 images. So I'm going to use these columns here and this class img 652 to actually show these images. All right. And so after I have done that, I need to come down here. I'm going to add another div. I'll say class. In this class, I'm going to say column XS, column SM, 6 points, and then column LG, 6 points as well. And inside, I'm going to say div class, row, and in here, I'm going to add another div. So that will be div class. And this class, I'm going to use text, left center text like this. And then I'm going to say another div class left center. So this here will be left center block. This one left center text. And the third div will be, we'll have a class called left center part. All right, and in here, I'm going to say h2 and class will be team section. And I'm going to say, I'll write some text and say, meet our team. So that's it. And then paragraph class, that will be team paragraph. All right, so I need to copy the text. So I'll copy this text, paste it like this. All right. So now after the paragraph, I'll add another div and I will say class row. And in the row, I will say div class again. And I will add some columns. Yeah. So I'll say copy. And down here, I'm going to paste it. I'm going to add another class that I will call block team. All right. So in this, I will link an image. So I will say images, image 1, say image 1. And I'm going to add, I can add another class. So I will say team member like this. And h3, that's another tag, h3. We'll call I'll write the name, I will be Roland. And this h3 tag is going to have a class. Now I can leave that like this. Then after that, I'll say small, and I will say photographer. And then paragraph, I'll say class paragraph. So what I'm gonna do is come back here and then copy this text, come back to my index HTML file and paste it. Okay, so that's it. After I have done that, let me write another div, this div, and give it the class of social media. And inside, I am going to add some font awesome classes. So FA Facebook, I'll copy it's like this. So here it's going to be FA Twitter, FA Dribble. So that's it. So now all I'm going to do now is to copy this and come down here, paste it. So all I'm going to change will be here. Instead of image 1, I will say image 2, change image 2 again. All right. And I'll leave the class the same. As for the name here, which name did I give? Okay, so this is Benny Wouters, and I say designer. Okay, as for the paragraph, I can leave it like that. So for the social media icons, I'm going to add another icon. So I'll say copy, paste like this. So this here, I'm going to change it to LinkedIn. And the last one is going to be YouTube. Okay, let me come back to our site and refresh. Okay, here there's a third icon that is missing. Let me check. Okay, so dribble is supposed to be written with 3 B's. Yeah, so let me save, come back here, refresh, and there you can see the icon. All right, so now let us go to the CSS portion of our code. So in the CSS, I'm going to start with the class portfolio, and I will say minimum height 750 pixels, and overflow will be hidden. After that, I'll say gallery minimum height 252 pixels, and the background position will be 0 pixel, 0 pixel. Background size, we'll say cover, and opacity 1. Okay, next I'm going to style the images classes. So I'll say img1. So I'm simply going to put some background image in this class. So all I'm going to do is to copy this portion of code, copy, come down here, paste it like this, and simply change the color, the image. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for the other images. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll say image 2, background image 1, class img3, background image 2. This will be img4, background image 3, img5, and background image 4, img6, the background image 5. I'm going to come here and refresh. Okay, there you can see that we are having images. All the 6 images are showing. All right. Well, we are good to go. Now we are going to start styling the text. Okay, this side of the right side of the section. We'll start with this class text left block like this, and width will be 100%, left 0, and height will be 100%, and z index will be 999, overflow hidden. If I refresh, okay, let me check if I gave the same okay, so we are good to go now. I'm gonna say text left block, left center text. Let me come back here. So actually the class we are text left block. Okay, I need to change this class. So it's supposed to be text left block like this. And left center text. Okay, that's it. So I will say display table, and the position relative, then the height 100 VH, and the padding 0-10%, text align left. Come back to my website and refresh. Okay, now you can see how the site is looking. So I'm gonna keep on styling some of the other elements remaining. Yeah, so down here we'll say text left block, left center text, left center part like this, display table cell, and then vertical align will be middle. Let me copy this, and I will style the h2 tag. So h2. I simply want to give it a font weight of 500. Come here. All right. So now we are good to go. So I will say down here, team section. I guess that's the name we gave to that. Okay, we have team section here, the class team section. So that's what we want to style now. So I will say padding 0 rem, 0 rem, 1 rem, 0 rem. And then the font size will be 2.8, and also the font weight is going to be 500. I guess it's okay. Let me come and refresh and see what happens. So let me continue. I'll say team paragraph like this. The pattern is going to be 0 rem, 2 rem, 1 rem, and 0 rem. The font size will be 1.1 rem. The line height will be 1.4, and the text align will be justify. So down here I'll say block theme. I'll simply say margin 1 rem 0 0. Okay, and then here I'll say block theme img, so that's the image tag, then theme member. So the width 240 pixels, and object fit we fill. I'll then refresh like this. There's actually a problem with the heading here. Let me go and check in the CSS code. I guess the problem is with the font size here, we didn't say REM. All right, so let me refresh. Yeah, there it is. So I think everything is okay. So I'm going to say block theme H3. So margin top will be 15 pixels, and then the font size will be 1.4 rem. So the same thing, block theme small, of a text transform uppercase. The font size will be 1 rem. The color will be red. The font style, say italic, and then the margin bottom. All right, so let me come and refresh. That's it. So now I can style the block theme paragraph. I'll simply say padding 0 rem, 3 rem on the right, 0 at the bottom, and 0 on the left. Save it and refresh. Now this is how it's looking. And so I'll say block theme social media FA, and say margin 4 pixels. The font size 18 pixels, and the border 1 pixel solid white. Border radius 50%, and the width I would say 30 pixels. The height as well will have the same size, and the text line I would say center, padding top 5 pixels. So now let me come and refresh. Okay, so this is how the page is looking. So I need to move this meet our theme a little bit down. What can I do? So let me come to the theme section here. If I say 5 rem like this, okay, so when I say 5 rem, it has moved it. So I can say 4 and refresh. Okay, or 3. I think like this, it's okay. So guys, this is how you could do to design this, our theme section of this landing page. So I hope this video was informative. In the next video, we are going to see how to design the last section of this landing page, which is the contact us section. So don't forget to like and to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. Let's meet in the next video. Right, let's now start working on the contact us section of this landing page. All right, we've already done all the other sections. Now is time for us to do the last section. So let's go to the index.html file. And as usual, we are going to add another container fluid class. So I'll say div class container fluid, and I can also add an ID. So I'll say contact like this. And in here, I'll say div class row. Okay. And then down here, I'm going to say div class column XS12 column SM6, and then column LG6, and I will say contact left. So that's another class. All right, so here I'm going to just repeat this column, paste it down here, and this I will call it contact right. So that's it. So now in the contact left class, I'm going to add another div. I will say class text left block. So that's the same class we used in the previous section. So we're going to use this same class again in the contact us section. I'm going to say class left center text and div again, class left center part. And that will be h2 class contact section, and I will say get in touch. That's the h2. Here I will say p tag, then class paragraph. Now I am going to write some text and say we are here to help you. Then I'll add a strong tag Monday through Saturday from say from 8 a.m. to 10, no, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I will say break tag, contact us via, I will say strong again, phone. So here I will say href. Then I will add a class, and this class will be called phone mail link. So the phone number, so you can write the phone number here. It will be all right, 66888-995. This is just a random number I wrote here. So I'm going to say or strong email, then semicolon, say copy the link here, and in here I am going to write the email address. Okay, so just after the paragraph, I am going to add a tag, a div tag, and class row. Okay, and in here I will say div again, class column 12, column sm 12 again, and then column lg 12. And in this column, I'm going to write a form tag. That's it, yeah. And this form tag, I'm going to give it an ID of contact form and a name. That will be contact form as well. I can even say that the method will be post, and the data name will be contact form. And inside this form tag, I will say div class row like this, and then I will say div class. I'll copy this column, paste it like this, and I will simply change the points here. I will say 6 for the SM and 6 also for LG here. Then inside I will say div class form underscore group, and I will say input. I need to write an input type text. The ID will be name. The class will be two classes, so form and form control. The placeholder, say name like this. And then after the placeholder, I will say name will be name, and data name, I can simply put name, and I will write required. So to make sure that this input is actually required, right? So that's it. So now all I'm going to do is copy this, paste it down here. And so now here, this input, the second input is going to be of type email. The ID will be email. The class will be the same. The placeholder will be email address. The name will be email. And the data name will be email address. And I'll also make sure that it is required. So I'm going to add a star here. So now I'll copy, add another input. So this time around, instead of email, I'm going to say company. No, I'm going to say text. And then the ID will be company. Here I will say company name. And then the name will be company. And the data name As for this one, I can say that it's not necessarily required, and so I can remove this. Okay, let me add another one. This is going to be of type telephone for telephone, and the ID will be foreign. The class will be the same. The placeholder will be I would say phone number. The name will be phone, and the data name I would say phone number, and make it required. And then the last input is going to be a text area. So this is how it's going to look like. So instead of writing input here, I will remove the input tag and I will write text area. Okay. So in the text area, I'm going to add an ID of text area and a class of a form. Another class will be text area, and then the other class will be form control. Yeah, that's it. So placeholder, I'll simply say your message here. Okay. Then I guess I need to add some other elements. The other elements would be the name, say message, and then data name will be text area, and I will write the required class, and then I will save. I also need to change these points here for the text area. So all the columns. So for the XX, I'll keep it to 12. This I will say 12 as well, and 12 here. I guess we are good to go now. So down here, I'm going to add a span class tag and add a class that I'm going to call sub text. Okay, and I will simply say star required fields. So this is just to say that all the inputs that are having this star are actually required fields. So the user will have to fill these inputs in order for the form to work. Okay, so now after we have done that, we can now add a button. So I'll come down here and say button of type submit. Okay, and of ID valid form, and the class button color like this. And the text that will show on the button will be send message, simply like that. That's okay. And then after we have added the button, we can add another paragraph tag and add a class in that paragraph tag and call it copyright. Okay, so I was simply going to say designed with love. Okay, instead of writing love, I'm going to add a font awesome icon, and I'll say FA hard like this, and I'm going to say style font size 12 pixel, and here I'll say by Coding River. Okay, so that's all we need. All right, so that's all we need to write for the HTML part. Now let's go to the CSS part. Or before we do that, let me just come to my the website here and then refresh. So when we refresh, there you can see how everything is looking at on our contact us section of the landing page. So now we need to add some CSS in order to place each element at the right place. So in the CSS file, we are going to start with the contact right class. And all I'm going to do is to simply copy this portion of code and then paste it here. All I'm going to do next is to simply change the image. Instead of BG1, I will say BG5 and save. So when you come back to the website and refresh, there you will see the image placed on the right side of the section. All right, so now after we have done that, we are going now to style the contact section, the class we called contact section. So as usual, I will say the padding will be 1 rem at the top, 0 rem on the right, 1 rem at the bottom, and 0 rem on the left. And then the font size will be 2.8. rem. Then the font weight will be 500. Then save. So down here, I want to say contact left paragraph. So all I'm going to add here is going to be the padding. So 0 rem at the top, 3 rem on the right, and 0 rem at the bottom, and 0 rem on the left. Now let me see what happens. Okay, now when I refresh, this is how it's looking. Okay, and I can also add the font size. If I want to reduce the font size here and the line height as well, instead of 1.4, I will say 1.2 for the line height, and see how this will look on our page. Okay, now this is how it's looking like. I think it's okay now. So I will simply say for the strong tag, I will say its font weight must be 700. Okay, and then the class font mail link, I want its color to be white, and the font weight will be bold like this. Let me copy and paste. Remove this. I will add colon, then hover, and I will say color will be red like this. So that's it. Let me come back here and refresh. Now when I refresh, when I hover here, it's okay. So I would say contact form. So contact form here is the ID we specified, and I would say margin top 40 pixels, and then down here again I would say contact form control, and the background will be I need to give it a special color, so that will be 2E, a color that is going to be a little bit more darker like this. All right, and then I will say border none, border radius 0.3 rem, and the box shadow will also be none like this. What else can I add? I would say font weight will be 300, outline, let's say medium, none, and the padding will be 1 rem, 2 rem like this. The font size of the text will be 1 rem, and also the line height will be 1.2. The height of hotel, the width, I would say 100%, and the color, I would say white. And then I would say margin bottom 1 rem, and also the transition, I'll say all 0.2 seconds is in out, and the text align, say left like this. All right, so now let me come back here and see what has happened. Okay, let me come back. Okay, so here there's a mistake in the HTML. So I have to say form control. I have to put the hyphen here. All right, so that's why nothing happened. So now when I save this and refresh, there you can see how the output is, the input is showing on the screen. Okay, so that's it. Let me now move down. So down here, I'm going to say, I'm still going to use the contact form like this, that form control, colon, hover, and contact form, that form control, focus, let me say box shadow, none, and the background, I'll add another color, so I'll say 29, 30, 39, like this. Now I need to increase the height of the text area. Okay, so the height of the text area, how to increase that? I'm going to say contact form text area, form control, like this, and I will say minimum height will be 8 pixels. Okay, so now I will say 8 rem. So if I come back here and refresh, I didn't save. So now when I refresh, you can see that the text area height has increased. So down here, I'm going to say contact form span sub text. I will give it a different color. So that will be 939 DA5, and the position will be absolute, and its font size will be 0.9 rem. So I will say right 5 rem. Now let me refresh. Ta-da. So now you have required field showing down there. Okay, so we will continue again. So now it's time for me to start with the styling of the button. So I'll say contact form, then button, and then I will use the ID that I put in the button. The ID was valid form. And so in here, I'm going to say that the background of the button is okay. So what should I put? I would say font weight 300, and the text transform will be uppercase, padding will be 1 rem, 2 rem, the font size will be 1 rem, and then the color I would say white. Okay, so after that I would say margin, margin auto. Okay, I will say auto, but I will add some margin top, 1 pixel. Then the border radius will be 2 rem. So I will say border none, and then display inline block. Yeah. All right. So copy this, paste it, remove this, and here I'll say colon hover, and I'll say background. So the background is going to be 00 E2C0, like this. So when I save this and come to the website and refresh, so now you can see how the button is looking like. All right. So after the button, we have styled our button. So we will come to the next class to style is going to be the copyright. So here I will simply say that its position is absolute, left 5 rem, bottom here I would say minus 45 pixels, and the font size will be 0.8 rem, and the font weight 300, and the line height will be 5 rem, and z index say 999. Then come here and refresh. There you can see the copyright section looking down at the bottom. So by the way it's showing now, you can see that this get in touch here is really at the top. We want to bring it down. So one way we can do that is to come to here, I think where we styled it. Okay, contact section, instead of 1 rem, we will say 5 rem, for example. And oh, actually here there's a mistake, so it's phone. All right, and save. So now if I come here and save, there you can see that the get in touch header has come down a bit. I think like this it's okay. All right. So now as you can see, I can add a little bit more. Sorry, say 6 rem like this. Okay. Yeah. So now as you can see, we have designed our contact us section of the landing page. So the website is, I would say, complete. Okay, so all the sections have been designed. So now in the next video, or in the next part of this video, I'm going to show you how to add the back to top button, and also how to scroll through the sections of this landing page. So by simply clicking on a navigation item here, for example, if you click on contact us, this is supposed to take you straight to the contact us section. Okay, so stay tuned. I will come back with another video to show you just how to do that. So thanks for viewing this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. So let's meet in the next one. All right, guys. So now in this video, I'm going to show you how to create this back to top button. See, when I click on this button, it takes me at the top of my website. Okay, and when I click on contact us on the menu here, it takes me down to the contact us section. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do just that. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to make sure that when you click on your navbar item here, for example, you click on About Us, it takes you to the About Us section. Okay. No, so one way to do that is, let me go to the index.html file. And if you can recall, when we were starting each section, we were given a certain ID to each section. For example, in the contact us section, we added an ID and we called that ID contact. Right. In the previous section, we also added an ID and we called that ID team here. And okay, up here we called that ID our services, and here we called it About Us. So in order for you to make sure that when you click on your nav link and then it takes you straight to the section in question, all you have to do is to use these IDs. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come back to my header, my navigation code. Okay, so at the start of our code in the body. So as you can see here, I'm going to look for the navigation links. So here we have home, we have About Us, and down here we have services, team, and contact us here. So all I'm going to do is in the href section here, I'm going to use the IDs that we added in each section. So for example, here we are having the nav link About Us. So I want that the user, when it clicks on the About Us nav link, to be taken to the About Us section. So all I'm going to do here is to write the ID we gave to the About Us section. So that ID was called About Us, like this. So here, when I come to services, when I want the user, when he clicks on the nav link services, I want him to be taken to our services section, and we called that ID. So you need to add the sharp symbol there and then the name of the ID. That was our services. Okay, that was the name of the ID we gave to that section. So I can also, just for the example, add that here. Okay, so I will simply say our services, and here as well, our services, our services. So for the nav link team, I want, when the clicker clicks on that link, I want him to be taken to the team section. So I will simply say team. So that's the name we gave to the ID in that section. And contact us, the ID name was contact. So now when I save and come back to my website here and refresh, right? So now you will see that when I come to the header and in the navigation menu, and when I click on About Us, it is taking me to the About Us section of my page. And I come up here, when I click on web design here, it takes me to the our service section of our page. When I click on team, it takes me to this section of our team. Okay, and then when I click on contact us, it takes me to the last section of my website. And as you can see that when it's scrolling smoothly, also because we specified in the style.css here at the beginning. You can see here we said in the HTML tag, we say that the scroll behavior must be smooth. So that's why it is scrolling smoothly. Okay, so that's it. So now what happens if you scroll to the contact us page and then the user wants to go back to the top? So it's not always very practical for the user to come back here and then be scrolling up himself. So we want to add a button whereby when the user clicks on that button, it takes him straight to the header and to the navigation menu. So one way to do that is to come to the index.html file and add a button. So come here, we will say a href, okay, and we will simply put this symbol here, and we'll add a class, and that class we will call it go to top btn, like this. And inside I'm gonna add a font awesome icon. So I'll say class fa arrow up, like this. So that's the only HTML code you need to add. So now all you have to do is to add some CSS styling. But then before we add the CSS styling, let's come back to our web page and then refresh, see what happens. So when you refresh, you scroll down, you can see down here we are having the button, okay, the icon. And as you can see, when I click on that icon, it is taking me to the top of my website. So I need to put some styling for it to look good, and to actually be appealing to the user to click on that. So in the CSS part of the code, what I'm going to write will be so I'm gonna say that go top btn that fa. I simply want to make sure that the font size is 28 pixels. The margin top is 10 pixels. Let me come back here and then refresh. So down here, as you can see now, the button is smaller, the icon is smaller, and I need to move that icon to the right side of the screen. What I can do is to come here and say go top btn, or say position. So I want position to be fixed, so that no matter where you are on the screen, the button will always be there. So it's not going to move. Even when you scroll down or you scroll up, you will still get the button and allow you to click in order to go to the top of the page. And I'll say width will be 50 pixels and the height will be 50 pixels. Here at the bottom, I'll say 40 pixels, and the background color, I'll give it a grayish kind of background color. So F6, FA, F8. And I'll say right. So I want it to be placed on the right side of the screen. So I'll say right 50 pixels. And the text decoration will be none. And the text align will be center. Then line height will be 50 pixels. Now, when I come back to my website and refresh, then you can see that you're having the icon here. So if you click on that icon, it takes you straight to the top of your web page. So when you scroll down as well, the button or the icon is still there, and it allows you to go back to the top of the page. So that's actually it. So when I click on contact us, it takes me to the last section. And when I come here and then click on the back to top button, it takes me back to the top of the page. When I click on the service here, it takes me to this section. When I click on this back to top button, it takes me back to the top. All right. So this is actually it. So I can also add, let me simply say something here. I'll copy this, paste it, remove, and I will say colon hover like this, and save. So when I come here, okay, as you can see, so when I put the cursor on it, the background image changes. Okay, so everything is working correctly. I clicked on About Us navigation item, and then I click on this icon, back to top icon, and as you can see, it takes me back to the top. And I click on theme, okay, and then it takes me back to the top. So guys, this is it concerning the smooth scroll, and also how you can add a back to top button or link on your website. So our landing page is complete with all its sections and the back to top button and also the smooth scrolling effect. So I hope this video was informative, and please don't forget to like, share some comments, and also subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. So let's meet in another video.